in your dress. Who are you wearing?
Richard Tyler. It's Richard Tyler. Richard Tyler.
From the stars on the red carpets of Hollywood to the models on the runways of New York City, Richard Tyler has dressed them all. Tonight we go behind closed doors and into his private mansion to discover the creative genius of the man whose career and clothes are captivating the world. Gloria Estefan, Sarah Jessica Parker, and her Sex and the City co-star Kristin Davis are just a few of the celebrities who swear by Richard Tyler.
They ask the same question over and over and over and over and over. Who are you wearing? Kristin, who are you wearing? They just shout at you. So you just say the same thing. Richard Tyler, Richard Tyler, Richard Tyler, Richard Tyler. That's all you say.
Every year, twice a year, Richard presents to the fashion world his new collections for spring and fall. This is when buyers and fashion editors decide if a collection will be a success or a failure. It's a time of high expectations and even higher pressure. One bad show can devastate a career. So for Richard, his reputation is at stake. Although fighting a fast-approaching deadline, Richard granted us exclusive access to witness his entire creative process.
She looks beautiful.
I went behind closed doors to see his sketches come to life, from his Los Angeles design studio to the final show in his New York mansion. From the beginning, Richard Tyler wasn't what I expected. He's not your stereotypical fashion designer. I discovered a soft-spoken, down-to-earth man who values old-fashioned craftsmanship and refuses to chase fashion trends.
You know, I love glamour, and I love femininity, and I love a woman's body, and I love women. I don't try to hide the body. I like to enhance it. Even if you're wearing a suit, you know, it still has to be sexy.
And okay to be shapely and not the waif?
No, shapely, yeah. I'm a heterosexual male. I like that.
Richard grew up in Australia, where his mother was a bridal gown maker. At 17, he dropped out of high school and told her he, too, wanted to be a designer.
What did she say?
So she took me by the hand, took me to a factory, and I learned how to be a cutter and lay up fabric and become a cutting fabrics. And that's how I pretty much started.
Today, Richard has his own production studio in Los Angeles.
You do live in Southern California, 3,000 miles away from the fashion center of the country, the New York City fashion district. How does that work?
Well, actually, I think that's what's kept us sane, I think. You know what? I mean, I love New York, but being a married man with a son, I like living in Southern California.
Richard and his family live in the quiet suburb of South Pasadena.
A little twist on Woody here. And who's this?
I think it made us very unique. It gives us a different place we're starting from. So it's, you know, to see the kind of community we were able to put together to make the clothes. We never could have done that in New York.
This is going to be, well, it'll be lined for production.
Richard and his wife, Lisa Traficante, started their company 12 years ago with just a few handmade samples. Together, they've built a multi-million-dollar company based on collaboration.
What do you think?
Yeah, this is beautiful, but does it feel strange? Does it feel...
Lisa gives him a woman's perspective.
You have to think of women and how they're living and what their bodies need, and he'll forget.
His creations start here in their Los Angeles production studio. When Richard took us behind these closed doors, an army of talented craftspeople were mounting a full-on assault against a looming deadline.
And just straight. Yeah. How you doing?
I expected to find a busy workshop. I didn't expect to find this. When Richard started out, he advertised in a Chinese-language newspaper to find skilled workers. He was so pleased with the outcome that today, most of his production staff is Chinese-American.
You know, it's an incredible group, and without them, forget what we do. It's nothing. You know, they're the ones who make this whole thing happen.
The pattern makers, sewers, and finishers are working off drawings Richard started sketching 6 months earlier.
Too close, maybe a little bit. Maybe like that, and then like that.
Richard closely supervises each garment as it goes through numerous design changes before it's deemed ready for the show.
I think not just here. I think it'll look better if we drape it over the bust.
I knew going in that obsessive attention to detail is one of Richard's trademarks. Workers will dedicate an entire day to hand finishing the buttonholes on the sleeve of this one jacket. It will take 2 full days to finish beading a small sleeve portion by hand. To create a uniform look, each of these feathers will be individually sewn in. I was amazed to discover that it can take 30 to 40 people to make just one dress. So I wondered how much one like this would cost.
I design them, I don't cost them. I think it's about 5,000–6,000, probably retail. But we don't get all that. We only get a fraction of that. So we do all the hard work and the stores make all the money.
His gowns range from $2,500 to more than $8,000. But celebrity stylist Philip Block says his elite clients think Richard's designs are well worth the money.
It's all architecture. He really is like an architect of clothing. The drape is always just right. The curve just goes to the top of their buttocks, or just drapes low enough so that you're not getting arrested. Because I can't have my clients getting arrested.
As Richard and his staff rush to prepare for his big show in New York, it's Emmy time here in Los Angeles.
Hello, how you doing?
So the stars are calling, including Sex and the City's Kristin Davis.
Hi.
Behind the closed doors of Richard Tyler's boutique in Los Angeles, Simon Jones spends hours with Kristin, helping her decide on the perfect gown.
There's this endless kind of effort to be hip and trendy. And when we're there in New York shooting the show, that's what we're surrounded by, because that's what New York fashion is about. And I'd rather be comfortable, and I'd rather wear something that I know in 5 years I'm not going to be embarrassed that I wore.
Oh wow, there we go.
She tries on gown after gown before selecting this one for her important walk down the red carpet. The price tag? $3,800. But like many of the stars, she won't buy the dress. Richard will loan it to her for the publicity. Richard has spent his career making sure others are well dressed, and it made me wonder.
What's in your closet?
Probably $10 T-shirts and turtlenecks. I don't like spending a lot of money on clothing.
Coming up, the pressure mounts as Richard rushes to New York to prepare for his big show. I get a first-hand look at the frenzy behind the fashion and a private preview of his most daring creations.
Behind Closed Doors will continue in a moment here on A&E. Behind Closed Doors with Joan Lunden continues here on A&E.
The clothes for Richard Tyler's spring collection have been designed and painstakingly handcrafted in Los Angeles. But as Richard joins his design partner, Piawat Patanapakti in New York, his work is just beginning. He'll debut his new line here in his second home, one of the largest private residences in all of Manhattan. Behind these closed doors, I found a very different man. With the deadline rapidly approaching, he is much less relaxed and much more focused.
At the board. She's going to have it done now? Well, that's no help to me. Tell me what you're going to ship in 30 minutes.
Because Richard's studio is thousands of miles away in Los Angeles, he has to ship his garments back and forth across the country as they undergo last-minute alterations. This puts the success of his show at the whims of weather, unexpected delays, and sometimes lost shipments.
No, there are 30 looks that we don't have.
A call to his wife Lisa in Los Angeles is not encouraging.
No, don't. You know, everybody should calm down, because we don't know that it's lost, and we're not going to just start remaking everything.
Have you ever had things for a show just not show up?
3 seasons in a row, I think. I think it was last season, we lost 52 pieces, 3 boxes.
You had to remake them all? You never found them?
We never found them. Somebody sold them. sold them out of the back of the truck, probably for about $10 a garment or something. 52 pieces. We had to turn around within 2 days and make them all over. That's it. That's the scary part.
And even when the packages do arrive, it's not always smooth sailing. 2 days before the show, a shipment of eagerly awaited fashions arrived from Los Angeles, addressed to Julie or Piowat, but neither are in.
This is Richard. Can he sign for it?
No.
But his name is right there, Richard Tyler. It's on there.
Look, attention, look.
But this is Richard.
It's a company.
But this is Richard, and this is his
You the owner?
He is.
Okay, can I see your ID, driving license, anything? I mean, I don't know him. You know, I first time to meet him.
Nice to meet you.
I like to meet you, sir.
Oh my God, look at her. She's cool.
In a daring break from traditional runway shows, Richard will present the majority of his new 55 creations on mannequins scattered throughout his 37-room mansion. He wants his guests to get close enough to the clothes to appreciate the fabric and details. But Richard will also include some live models in the show. Out of hundreds considered, he has chosen 4 to wear the outfits that he thinks are best presented on a human body.
So this is what, 24 hours ahead of time now?
Yes.
Yeah, a little nervous?
Me?
Yeah. You're just trying to like tweak every little
Yeah,
thing?
what we're doing right now, we're just tweaking and putting them on the forms and you know, making sure everything looks good.
I can't believe she doesn't have a cell phone or a beeper.
But first, a crisis. At 6 p.m., one of the models already fitted and scheduled to appear in the show has backed out, and Richard's staff has to scramble to find a replacement.
So she should be here by 7 o'clock or 7:15. I need to see her tonight. I don't want to torture you, but I must see her tonight because I've got to make this show look as great as it can look.
Yeah, looks really great.
2 models are booked to come in tonight, and at the 11th hour, Richard picks their replacement.
What do you think? She looks cute.
It looks absolutely.
Do you like the short length? Sexy.
Yeah.
You know.
But they still have much more to do before tomorrow's show.
We need to set up all the mannequins, we need to dress them, we need to do wigs, we need to put makeup on them, we need to place the props. We are far from being done.
It's 4:30 in the morning when an exhausted Richard Tyler and his staff call it a day. 8 a.m., just 4 hours before showtime.
Okay, great. The box is here?
Yes.
Last-minute deliveries have to be unpacked and each valuable piece logged and carefully inspected. Before these clothes can be presented to the public, they will be rushed down to Richard's expert presser. These fine fabrics have to be handled with the utmost care. The smallest burn mark can ruin an $8,000 dress. The models arrive, including the new replacement, and go directly backstage into hair and makeup.
They're all positioned just right.
Right? Yeah.
Before the media and buyers are allowed behind these closed doors, Richard gives me a private showing of what has been 6 months in the making.
This suit I love. I can't believe all these years I've been doing this, I still get nervous. It's
But
like
all the
sort of fun.
gowns arrived.
Yeah, this morning.
That's a good thing.
When I heard the doorbell this morning, I knew.
Wait. These gowns all arrived this morning?
Some of them, like that suit arrived this morning.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
This is not what I'm going to wear to the PTA meeting tonight. Personally, I have a Richard Tyler suit on that I'm wearing today. What are you wearing?
J. Crew.
What are you going to wear for the show?
J.
The J. Crew?
Yeah.
You know, he can wear whatever he wants.
Downstairs, the anticipation builds as the foyer overflows with hundreds of impatient guests. Everyone wants to see what's behind these closed doors.
The stage is set. Lighting, music, hair, and makeup have all been checked and rechecked. Now, it all comes down to one simple question. What will the fashion world think of Richard Tyler's collection?
InStyle is here, Allure, Harper's Bazaar, Cosmopolitan.
So all the top editors, I'm escorting through the back way to avoid the traffic jam.
Each person who enters is given a list of the fashions. The buyers and editors check off their favorites.
It's pretty sexy in there. This is as great and glamorous as fashion can be.
In from Los Angeles, Kristin Davis is there to check out what she'll be wearing come next spring.
Now, I know you like wearing Richard Tyler. I do feel really confident with Richard, and I feel like he knows my body, and he's not going to put me in something that doesn't suit me just because it happens to be his newest dress.
This show took 6 months of planning, sleepless nights, and hard work. Yet most of the guests stay less than 15 minutes. I know how I feel after I give a big party, and then it's all over, and I've like spent weeks and weeks and weeks planning.
It's like
Is that how you feel?
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, you do like a throw party, then all of a sudden all the guests leave, and you sit there on the couch and go, was it a success? You never know.
The ultimate success of the spring collection will be determined by the critics and buyers in the weeks to come. By then, Richard will be designing for fall. His next show is just a few months away, and the creative process begins again. The fashion world of Richard Tyler, behind closed doors. For A&E, I'm Joan Lunden.